I know, it's kind of crazy. It's like
Welcome, everyone, to the Leader of You Summit. It's a journey from challenge to transformation. We are thrilled to have you here. Join us for the summit. It's a multi-day event that will take a transformative journey through personal leadership growth and power of choice. The summit brings forth incredible speakers that have been willing to give and pour their hearts into to give you nuggets of wisdom, ideas, possibilities that will transform your life and challenge things that you might believe that there may be a different way of looking at things that can make a difference in your life from where you are to where you could be and what your potential has in store for you. So today, I'm very thankful, and this is a woman that has done a lot for small businesses. Her name's Sue Brooke, and she is a professional speaker and trainer, a best-selling author, a publisher, and a small business and marketing strategist. She's also a relationship marketing and networking expert, and she's been a longtime customer on at Alignable, is now on the Alignable team. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, Sue. I want you to welcome everybody, Sue Brooke. Sue, there's a lot to Alignable. In fact, I'm a member on it, and I was blown away. It's not just a networking place for business owners. It's much more. And then you've taken that another step in what I witnessed when I was on site with you at one of your tour sites. The power you bring with the importance of connection. So if you'd love to, so please talk about a lot about those things because they're very important to a business owner. And in fact, even in relationship alone, having connections and learning how to have connections is important. So love you. Tell us all about it.
oh my gosh. Well, let's see. Well, I'll just start with I've been a business owner a lot of my life. I started my first business when I was my first real business when I was about 22, 23. I had gone to college to be an elementary school teacher, actually. And I got out of college and I got a job at Fred Astaire Dance Studio.
Oh,
And I immediately started noticing how much money people were paying for that. And I just kind of, it was my first real introduction to business. So one of the other dance instructors and I went back to my college town in Nebraska and started my own business. We started a ballroom dance studio. Didn't have a clue about how to run a business. I didn't know. Um,
yeah. Most of
I
us don't when we
most
start
of it,
out.
yeah, we come up with something we're good at, and then we start a business,
Mm-hmm.
and that's. But you know what? It's okay because I remember getting it all set up and opening the doors and going, I guess we need some customers. It's like,
Cash flow is
duh.
important.
Right, yeah, that's kind of what it took. So I learned really fast. So I mean, I was pretty young, so I didn't have money for marketing. So I learned really fast how to go out and meet people and build relationships and network, and even at that young age. So that was kind of my start of my journey, actually. Fast forward, my claim to fame was when I moved to California and I started well, actually, I went back to teaching and then I started working at Sylvan Learning Center, a tutoring business.
Mm.
And again, my mind went, business, this is a business, I'm not just teaching kids how to do math. So anyway, I started my own tutoring business. I put one ad in the paper, got one client, and from building the relationships and really building that relationship with that one family, with that one student who told everybody, and then networking and building relationships in the community is how my businesses got started. And so now I just want to help people learn how to do that. So Alignable came along later. Alignable is an online platform that is probably, I think it is the largest networking platform. Um, it's a lot of people compare it to LinkedIn, but it's not at all like LinkedIn. It's a place for, we have over 9.5 million members on Alignable who are all small business owners. So I got involved with Alignable in 2000. Well, I met the co-founder in about 2015, and then I still had my business there in Southern California. And then in 2017, I found out I had a sister on ancestry.com. And she lives in Northern California. So after I sold my business in 2017, I moved up there and again started another business. And that's when kind of I met Alignable. I started talking to them, and anyway, here I am today. There's a lot more
Well,
to it, but that's a short
well,
story.
that's, I'm curious. I know things happen for a reason, and I know that you came into this spot, and you've had some challenges in small business, just like myself. But I'm curious about a couple of things, if you don't care to elaborate. One, a lot of small business owners have a great idea to do what they're gifted to do. They're very good at it, but a lot of times they don't know how to make a connection. And a lot of times they fear making connections. And it's just the unknown uncertainty of things. How did you overcome that? And also, how did you get connected with Alignable? I think if I remember you telling me that, it's a pretty interesting story, because I think that has a lot to do with what you actually wanted out of life.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's see. We'll start with that part of the question first. So when I found out that I had the sister, I had just sold my business. And the part I didn't tell you was when I sold my business, I sold it to a woman who wanted the business.
Mm,
And I was I didn't do things all the right way. I didn't get a business broker or anybody to
mm,
help me, and I sold the business and I financed her. And long story short, I got a small down payment, and then she ran the business into the ground and never paid me the rest of the money. And so,
yeah.
every all of us, like you said, when you have a business, you put everything into it.
Mm-hmm.
Every penny, every ounce of your soul goes into your business.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said it's your baby, that's exactly what it is. It's like, I don't have kids. That was my child. And that was the child that basically felt like it got murdered.
Yeah.
And that was almost worse than not getting the money that I had put every penny in. So I lost everything. I was 54 years old, lost everything. I did not have any savings, nothing, and had to figure out what to do. And the hard part was, you get in that dark place where you just can't seem to get out, and then you get in the scarcity mindset where you're out there trying to make money, and you keep trying. You're an entrepreneur, so you keep trying new things and starting new things, but the problem was this is probably the biggest lesson I learned that I try to teach a lot of people is when everything I did to with the intention of making money worked for a second, and then it never stayed. It always went away. It never, ever, ever stayed until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and said, you know what? I I'm I'm going to help people, and I'm not going to worry about money. I'm not going to, and I did a lot of personal development, read lots and lots and lots of books about, and listen, especially Think and Grow Rich
Mm-hmm. That's a good book.
yes, that's one everybody should read. I have lots of books.
Absolutely.
It's basically don't try to figure out how things are going to happen. So I was trying to make things happen the way I
Mm-hmm.
wanted them to happen, and it never worked. Well, so here's the thing. So when that happened, then I had found out I had this sister who lived in Northern California. So I I moved up there, and I didn't know anyone, and I had already been on Alignable. They were just starting. There was nothing on Alignable. I used it a little bit for my business before I sold it. So I move up there, I get on Alignable, I started meeting people, and I started networking. And I'm an introvert, so I had to really learn how to get out of my shell and meet
Mm-hmm.
people and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, all of a sudden my business just started growing, and like a few months after I was there, people were always coming up to me and knew who I was. And my sister looked at me one day and said, how do you know more people than I do? And I'm like, I don't know. And I started figuring out what I was doing to meet those people, to build the relationships, to get those referrals and get those phone calls. And that's what I teach now. So that's kind of how it all happened. And it was all magic. So when the pandemic hit, and I'm sorry I'm going on, but this is kind of the big pivotal part of the story is when the pandemic hit, I started doing a mastermind group for just for free for anybody to help them, any business owners to help them. And Alignable called me out of the blue to see how I was doing as one of their members. And I told them what I was doing. And then I just started talking to them, and they said, I gave them all these ideas. I said, you need to do more for our business owners. I just got out of my shell. And they said, can we hire you to help us? And I kind of stopped and went, really? I mean, I wasn't looking for a job, but you know, I'm an entrepreneur. You're not looking for a job.
Right.
But they offered me this great package to come and help them and be a consultant. And then I told them my dream of traveling across country, that I'd written in my journal. I'm traveling across country, helping and inspiring millions of small business owners. And I'm driving my beautiful motorhome that I paid cash for. And which I thought was ridiculous when I wrote it, because there was no way I had money to buy a motorhome. And through all of this, it just all happened that they hired me. I had the money to save really quickly to buy my motorhome. And when I told them what I wanted to do, they said, okay. So so
There you
here I
go.
am working for this company that has millions of small business owners. I'm traveling across the country. I've been doing it for 3.5 years. I've been in almost all the lower 48 states, and just I get to talk to business owners all over the country every day. So it's amazing.
It's you started. This is important, and you know, a lot of people are curious, especially our age and older too. You know, there's a lot of times we'll hit rock bottom and we'll hit spots like that. We have a choice that we can make. Either we can live in the story of it, or we can actually make something out of it and transform us. But even at our age, restart. You always have a chance to restart, and more, you know, which is great. And that's because you believed you
Oh my
could.
God.
You believed you could, and you just wrote it down because that was your vision, and that's what a lot of us miss. We're human beings. You know, we're not human doers, and the world has us do, and we make a bunch of do.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So
Yeah.
it's really about, you know, it's a believing in being, not doing, and being in vision of what you did. And you did it. You know, I acknowledge you for that. That's a victory.
You know, it was actually in a journal. I'm a big journaler, and
That's
back
awesome.
then, yeah, so back then I just started writing in a journal because I thought, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna write in it every day. And I didn't like try to figure out what I wanted to do. I just remember that one night going, I don't know what to write. I said, I'm just gonna write this. So I dated it a year from that day. And I just wrote in there, I just let my subconscious write it. And I just wrote, I'm traveling across the country in my beautiful motor home. And I mean, I found it recently, and I wrote that out. And it was a little bit different for what I wanted to do, but it was exactly basically at that time I wanted to get people's stories and publish more books, because I've published compilation books before. But then it just kind of morphed, as every night when I would write, it would be, I want to support small businesses because that's really my passion, so, and my purpose.
It's being in small business for most of my life, and I've had a big business too. Aspire is a healthy energy drink that's still out there. Um, you know, a lot of times we put our identity into the small businesses, and that's really not our identity.
Mhm.
And we will go hours upon hours. In fact, that, you know, I know for me personally, sacrificed a lot of my family life because of that, because it was so important for me to go and build this thing because it mattered so much. In
Right.
essence, it was my baby, and my essence. And so if it flourished, then it was because of me. In actuality, it has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Oh,
It may be the creator of things, but the fact is, it's about community and support. And you don't do these things alone. And you get into that alone space, it becomes very destructive. It will rob you of your life, and it did mine. And to the fact where I got so frustrated and disappointed in myself, and I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted in my life. I was actually going 180 degrees backwards and didn't realize I was going that direction. And it's because of my belief system. And it tied into my self-worth, and it tied into not knowing what my values of life are, what's important, truly important at the core. And so I'm completely going against myself, years, decades. And there I was, laying in a hospital bed with liver failure and kidney failure, and saying, Mr. Goodwin, this is it. And so I'm laying on that bed and I'm thinking, well, what was this life for? I mean, seriously, what was I working so hard for? And here I am, and it's over. That's pretty sober.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, by the grace of God, I got a liver and a kidney. Obviously, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. But that really, like you found your calling in small business, in community, because you feel the pain. You were there in it, and it matters to you to relieve that pain. And the way you relieve pain, in a lot of ways, is having support. And this is pretty much what Alignable is about.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's just I pinch myself every day because I'm doing what I would have done for free. I mean, I would have just that's what I wanted to do. That's what I would have done, and I'm getting paid for it, and I get to run my own business too. I get to write
Yeah,
books. Finished my book last week, so that was pretty exciting. But I do want you said something a second ago that I want to make sure that's in it. It was very important. You said something about our age. So I just turned 62 this year, and it's amazing to me, amazing how many people my age and older are always, oh, I can't do that. I wish I could have done that. And they stop their life. They think their life is over at this
that's
age.
right.
And it's like,
It's not.
are you kidding me? We are just starting. And I wish more people would understand that because now we have all the knowledge. We've been in the dirt. We've been hit a few times. We've may have fallen a few times. We've been
Yeah,
bruised and hurt and beat down, and now we've learned stuff. And we're in a place where we can do anything. We have the knowledge. We have the people. We have so much more. And I wish more people realize that. I want to mention. Somebody you should interview is my friend Fran Jesse, who just turned 80 years old. And she just started. She is the one that published my book, and she has now just started her own publishing company. She publishes business owners' books, and she is having the time of her life, starting a brand new another business. She's a serial entrepreneur, and now she's like living her dream that she just started at 80 years old. I think it's just amazing to me. I'm so proud of her.
and I would love to have the honor to speak to her because it's just again evidence that until you pass on, you still have something to give. In my belief, and I believe if you want to live life, you got to give to live.
That's
And
right.
if you're taking, it's the wrong side of the fence, and you might want to reevaluate what your
Yeah.
belief system is at that point. But yeah, but so this is fantastic. So all right, and I'm curious. This is important because now you're an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur like me pretty much all my life, your life, and you find out that you got to get out and connect. All right, and then you face challenges like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of myself in order to do it, and just put your eyes on other people. But this led into Alignable, which is really a fertile environment
Yeah.
that just perfectly align with connection on
Yes.
it. And even if you're thinking about a business, wouldn't you think? I'm curious because I hadn't asked this question. If I'm just curious about going in business, could I sign up for Alignable, even though I don't really have anything that's developed yet, but I have an idea?
You you probably could. Alignable is for small business owners. So they're
Mm-hmm.
for entrepreneurs. And in order to get the full uh effect and the full benefits of Alignable, you put in your business. It's about putting in your business and what your niche is, and the category of your business, being able to clearly identify your ideal customers, your ideal referral partners.
Mhm.
And see, when you're in a group of business owners, every business owner has a different kind of business, and they have customers, they have people in their networks that might coincide with yours. So for example, I know that when I had my tutoring business, so my big business that I had for about 20 years was, it started out as a tutoring business, went to a after school program. I had a private school. We had summer camps. We had like full on educational learning centers, 2 locations in Southern California. And the thing is, I learned really fast how to build such great relationships and connections that my competitors were my best referral partners, if you can believe that. And I
I
would refer
do. I've
people to them
witnessed it.
because I don't believe in competition at all, because
Mhm.
this person offers something different than this person, and you're really buying the person, right? So, I would get kids that they didn't really fit with our program, or they needed something different, and then we referred customers to each other. So that's the whole point of Alignable, is meeting with different kinds of business owners and finding out who your second degree network is, which is their network. And Alignable has it's very, they're making a lot of improvements, and a lot of they're getting up to speed with AI. So it's AI powered now, with a lot of parts of Alignable that will look at your profile and your business and who your ideal customers and referral partners are. They'll look at the other person's profile, and they'll help you figure out how you can work together, or they will go out and find people that would be your ideal customers or referral partners. So it's really amazing how this platform works.
I
So,
firsthand experienced it. And folks, it's alignable.com, and it's alignable.com. And I'd highly encourage you, if you're not part of that in a small business, you definitely need to get on there. It will expand your business and your possibilities. So
absolutely,
yeah.
100%.
So
And it,
even the AI part of it is fairly new, isn't it?
yeah, that's been something they've been working on this year, and it's just getting better and better and better. And it's getting to be more of that kind of a platform. That's really their goal in life, is to help you meet the right people so you can grow your network, because your network is what your business is worth. When
Mhm.
I sold my business, they weren't buying the tables and chairs, they were buying my network, which was massive. And so that's what business owners need to remember, is they need to start building their network. And
Mhm.
Alignable is a great place there's kind of a culture at Alignable. We have networking events. Still host the same mastermind that I've hosted for 4.5 years, in the mastermind with Sue Group on Alignable. So people have a chance to raise their hand and ask a question for business or marketing. And then there's a whole room full of their peers that are like their advisory board to help them. And then it gets to be turned around, so you get to help other people, which is really where you get is the
Yeah,
best part, in my opinion.
that's the secret sauce, isn't it, Sue?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's what you give into the group, it's what you get out of the group. And that's the way life has always been. We've just gotten away from that. And you see it all the time in Alignable. I mean, it's a great group. I've experienced it many of times. And I'm really surprised at the people that don't know about it still.
Oh yeah,
It's,
there's a lot.
it's, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you to be here today, is to let people know there is help for small businesses. You don't have to do this alone. I encourage you not to do it alone, and get with some people, build a network across the nation
Mhm.
or bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Everybody's business is different.
Mhm.
I go around and meet local businesses and local communities. Well, there's people that, massage therapists, hair salons, they do business locally. And so
Local.
it's
Mhm.
super important that, regardless of what it is, if you live in a small community, you need to support the small business in your community. That's what this world is about. That's what this country is about. And um and it's the heart of it. So much happened during the pandemic. We lost so many businesses, and it's heartbreaking what happened back then. And now that a lot of them are coming back, but we all need to keep supporting them. It's really, really important. And another thing you said, if you are an entrepreneur, it's a lonely job. Most entrepreneurs are pretty lonely because we're all out here working on our own, and so that's why places like Alignable are great, because you can go and be with, you're with your brothers and your sisters that are also entrepreneurs, and they kind of get you. And so that's why you want to attend a lot of the networking events so that you can talk to people and build those relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The fact the more you collaborate with people and invest into them, the more you're going to get support and help. And a lot of times you get a lot of free nuggets. I mean, to be honest with you, you'll get some great coaching and not really expected. I mean, not telling everything's free, but what I'm saying is there's intrinsic values that you don't realize until you start getting into a community. And, COVID, going back to COVID, it showed me, and I think many, many, many more, that we can't really rely on outside of the country coming in to support us, getting supplies and like that. It's become more important to build a community
Yes.
that we can turn to each other and not have to worry about those things as much, or if at all. And it builds better and stronger connections with your neighbors.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about what's happening currently right now in our lives is what happened in Asheville, North Carolina. And
I'm right there. I'm next door.
I was just there. I was there 2.5 weeks ago,
Yeah.
right before it happened. So I got out of there, and then 2 weeks later, I'm seeing the same pictures of the same places. And I got to meet business owners there, and I talked to the ambassador there from Alignable, and it's just heartbreaking, the story. So you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And if you want to go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, you have to focus on what your life's purpose is, and you have to live
Mhm.
every single day. I mean, you were talking about your health issues. When I before I lost everything with my business, I had back in 2006, I had just gone through a bad divorce, and I was driving home from the store, and on my way home, and I got hit by a Ford F-250 truck in my little Volkswagen Beetle
Yeah.
convertible, and ended up in the hospital. They had to take me out with the jaws of life. I was in the hospital, and I woke up thinking that, I'd just gone through divorce. I thought I didn't have any friends. I didn't know and I'd pretty much given up everything that I had and all my life's passion to help my husband become a rock star. And I gave up pretty much everything to make his dreams mine. And then all of this happened, and I wake up in the hospital room thinking, well, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know why I need to be here. And when I opened my eyes and saw the room full of people that were there because they cared about me, and they were there because I meant something to them, because they were there with me in the hospital room, it's like that's when I went, okay.
Mhm.
Every single day when I open my eyes and look outside to see where I am, because I am in a new place, but I am just grateful every single day for another day on this earth. So you got to be, you can't think about the past, and every bad thing that ever happens, every crappy thing that happens in your life honestly turns out to be the best thing. Always. And
It does.
things happen.
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, those things had not happened, there's no way I'd be doing what I'm doing. There's no way I'd be living my purpose right now. No way, if I hadn't gone through that.
It You got to be grateful for what things happen to you. Right? I mean, it's very, very easy, I know, to look at the lens of defeat and being in victimhood, and that is a place that brings on depression and places that really end you. I mean, to be flat out honest, and it's not a place to be when you actually have a choice, and everybody has one
That's right.
to make, and you can choose life or you can not choose life. And I tell you, the prices that we pay, actually, as you've mentioned, we feel them, and we feel them to a point where, hey, I've experienced it, I appreciate it, but this is not who I am.
Right.
Yeah. And I choose to live, and I choose to change whatever it takes
Right.
to make that happen. And we all have that choice. We really do. And, Sue, this is great. I mean, the importance of connection is paramount. We have two things, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this too. And from my thinking, that you have two main things in his life: is time, because you can't get it back. Money you can always go back and make. All right. And you have connection.
Right.
All right. And then lastly, you got to have your health above all. Okay. Otherwise, these two don't matter, because you're out of time, out of connection if you lose your health. But the fact is, those two are junior to it, but time and connection. If you don't have connection, you're not going to go anywhere there, and it's going to be a lonely life
That's right.
on it.
Absolutely. You know, I guess it's interesting what you think, what it turns out to be important. So,
Yeah.
things that come to my mind here, my 80-year-old friend that I just told you about. So she's lived her whole life. She's tried all these businesses. She's tried to make all these things happen. And she's had some success in her life, but she's had a lot of defeats. And when I started talking to her, um, and trying to help her through, she was going through a pretty rough time. She's been going through a rough time. And it's taken a while, but she finally started listening to certain books or reading certain books like Dr. Joe Dispenza and some of those
Mm.
books that you can really train your brain and, the Think and Grow Riches and all those kind of things. And
Atomic Habits is another one that's excellent too, if you hadn't read
oh,
that one.
no, I haven't. There's so many, but you have to internalize it and you have to make it happen. And
Yes.
when you were talking about health, I just have to say, I have not been sick. The last time I was sick, I did get COVID in 2021 when I was in Florida for a week. But before that, I hadn't been sick. I haven't been sick, not even a cold, nothing. And I know why. It's because I choose to stay positive and I don't let negativity into my life. I
Mm.
believe that you make yourself sick and you can make yourself healthy, and that
100%.
you have to stay in a positive mindset, because if you let negativity into your life in any way, shape, or form, I'm talking about people. Sometimes you have to let some people go. I've had to do that in my
Mhm.
lifetime, and it was really hard. I've let go some of my best friends, but they were so toxic in my life, and that was making me sick. That until I got rid of all that negativity, I don't get sick anymore. I really don't. And I do as much as I can to send love into the world and kindness. And I know when I
Thank you.
was sharing with you that at the event that we were at,
Mhm.
how to send physical greeting cards to people in the mail. And I
Oh, yeah.
use my special app on my phone where I can find pictures of people and on Facebook doing things, or maybe they got a new puppy or a new grandbaby or they're on vacation, and I'll find pictures and I can put them on the card on a card just from the app or my computer. I can push send and the company prints stuff, stamps and mails out a card that has, a picture on it. And you can use it. I do it all the time. I just do it to make people smile, and it's just amazing. And what's so interesting about that is when you do that, did you know I'm trying to remember who did the study, that you get the
Mhm.
person that receives that gift from someone or that card or whatever, even just something, they say something to them and they're receiving the serotonin, this
Mhm.
drug into their body that makes them smile. But did you know that the person giving it to them gets the same, if not more, of the
Mhm.
same thing? And I just thought, and did you also know, I just remembered this, I got to add this to my talk. People that watch that happen also get it.
Mhm.
When people see you giving to someone and then they see that them they're receiving it and the smiles, if someone's watching that, they get it too.
Mhm.
So it's like this.
Contagious.
That's why people need to keep doing that.
Yes.
We need to keep sending out love and kindness and all that stuff in the world, and other people see that happening, because then it'll make them do it, and it's just this snowball, right?
Start breaking
Anyway,
down
I don't know, I went off on a
walls.
tangent there.
No, actually, this is perfect because this is key to any relationship building, any customer retention, any marriage or family that you do. It's a sheer thought that you cared enough and had compassion to send them something out of love to let them
Yes.
know that they mattered.
Yep,
It's
absolutely.
just that simple, and it's so powerful, and
Yep,
it's so giving and receiving, like you said. And it releases the chemicals, like you said, as well in the body that are healing
that's right.
chemicals.
They are. I wrote a chapter in this book that I published. I've published several compilation books, and one of them was on holistic healing. And so all the other authors offered some sort of holistic service. They were a practitioner of some sort, for in the holistic realm. And since I published the book, my co-publisher, friend, she said, "Well, you need to write a chapter." And I said, "But I'm not a holistic practitioner. I don't do that." But I went, wait a second. Yeah, I kind of am. So I talked about the power of sending cards to people, and it makes me smile. And I get up on the weekends. It's like every time I push that send button and I know they're going to get the card from me and they're going to open it up and they're going to be so excited to see the picture and read my message. It makes me excited. So it keeps me happy. So I don't
Well,
know. I
don't
wish
you
more
love to get those phone calls or those messages that just, oh my gosh, they pour out so much. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
it
What
is
was the
amazing.
company that you're using so the audience can hear that again? Which one were you
Uh,
using?
Actually, everything's listed on my website under
Oh,
the
let's
tool
go there. That's great.
resources.
Tell us about that.
You can go actually, if you just go to you can go to my website, suebrooke.com, BROOKE.com. You can also go to suesmarketingtools.com, and the card system is under there. I have an Amazon storefront of some of my favorite business books, and personal development books that I have read in my life that has changed my life. There's lots of resources there. There's marketing tools there as well. Anyway, lots of cool stuff there. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In marketing, Sue's been very effective in marketing, and I highly encourage you to visit her site and utilize some of the tools. They are apps, and you'll have to buy the app, of course, but she's created tools that are very useful. They'll help small businesses out. So I invite you to explore. And I was trying to see if I could share my screen real quick.
Yeah, if anybody wants to try the card app that I have, they can send a free card. There's a link there that they can do that on that same page. So yeah, just go send one card to someone and see how it makes you feel. And then you can keep going from there, I hope.
yeah. All right. So we've spent a good portion of time. There's been a lot of giving and a lot of wisdom that you've given out here today, and I greatly appreciate that. I mean, there's a lot that being in small business, we're used to having ideas and we know what to do for what we've done for so long. It's what we don't know that usually gets us. And that's one of the reasons why I'm hosting these summits as being a small business and into a large business. Most of my life, it's a minefield. It can be. And there's a lot of things that you step on that can cost you quite a bit of money. And then on the other side of the things, there's a lot of people that are willing to give because we're encouraging you. All right.
Mhm.
We're in a hyperinflative state, and the cost of buying goods these days and having insurance paid for your house and mortgages of houses, it's unrealistic.
Yep.
And the only way to come out of that is be able to create something and be able to give back and go into a small business or even a side hustle. It doesn't have to be a business, but I encourage you. There's hope out there, and there's ways that people will help you to grow and give you insight. And one of the things that I'm providing too is the value of values and how and why it matters and what it costs you if you don't know what your values are. All right. And it's really understanding yourself and being in alignment so you know what you're working with as core to you. And if you don't know what that is, how in the world are you going to experience joy in your life if you're fighting yourself all the time? And, more importantly, once you do know what your values are you in a spot that aligns with it? And there's a lot more to that. And I encourage you to look at it. I will be sharing it on Alignable too, Sue, as a resource here soon on it. And I also encourage you to upgrade to your VIP experience, because not only out of this recording session here that we're doing, there's other people that are giving valuable information they'll honestly help you, and you will be able to get this information for a lifetime. I'll have it up for a couple of weeks and then I'll take it down, but you can always enroll to that to have it on hand. And please use these connections. All right. And if you got questions, reach out to us. We don't sit on a high pedestal. We're here on the grounds with our sleeves rolled up to be giving to you all and to give you a way to succeed in life. That's what we really want. We want you to succeed and have joy and peace in your life. Really do. So, do you have any last comments? I really do appreciate you being here today, and I am seriously grateful.
Oh, you're welcome. No, I just think everybody needs to keep going. They need to figure out what their purpose is in life, because once you do that, once you figure out what that is and why you're on this earth, and you just do what you love and not worry about how it's going to happen and
I
not
love
worry
that.
about how it really does just happen. I mean, my friend, but don't wait till you're 80 like my friend, she's finally she gave up trying to figure out how to do it and making things happen, and when she let it go, it like instantly came in her lap, instantly. And you're never too old. She feels like a teenager, she said yesterday. I was talking
That's
to her. She
amazing.
goes, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm just starting my life." I think you are.
Oh
So
my, yeah, I definitely, I want to meet this person. I want to talk to her. It's just,
you do.
that excites me. It really does. It gives me inspiration and gives hope. Like, hey, yes, this is real. We can actually live this life.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I mean, she's sad because she said, I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. I said, don't even go there. You're
No,
starting
no,
now. You're here. It's in today. You can't go
life
back.
is now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
All right.
that keeps you healthy too. If you go to the past and start digging into that old crap that happened to you, that's when you start getting sick again.
Right. That's
Don't
one of
even
the things I address too. And we're great librarians, aren't we? We we remember things about people, and people change and evolve in the way they are, and what they were 10 years ago is more likely, hopefully, not what
yeah,
they are today. And but
exactly.
we carry our history with us, our stories, and a lot of times we project those into the future and create the future that's same as it was in the history. And if you didn't like where you were in the history, why you keep doing that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Learn from them, leave them behind, you know, and create your future today the way you see it and the way you want to enjoy it. I mean, it does work. Sue's living proof of it. I
Yeah.
am. So you can too. All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you for this wonderful time. And I wish you great success down the road. And more than likely, I pray that you're safe and that you just continue to enjoy your life, Sue, as you are. And, I'll see you soon, obviously, from time to time, and we'll stay in contact. So, all right, folks, don't forget oh, Sue, before we go, hold up your book again. Show
Oh,
everybody what that book is.
working
Because
with heart. So excited.
networking through heart, and get you a copy today and learn how to start networking from your heart. All right. All right. God bless, and we'll see you on the next section. Leader of You signing out.